Welcome to Kotler and Keller's Marketing Management, Chapter 10, Crafting the Brand Positioning. Let's get started. Learning objectives. How can a firm develop and establish an effective positioning in the market? How do marketers identify and analyze competition? How are brands successfully differentiated? How do firms communicate their positioning? What are some alternative approaches to positioning? What are the differences in positioning and branding for a small business? The goal is to locate the brand in the minds of consumers to maximize the potential benefit to the firm. A good brand positioning helps guide marketing strategy by clarifying the brand's essence, identifying the goals it helps the consumer achieve, and showing how it does so in a unique way. One result of positioning is the successful creation of a customer-focused value proposition, a cogent reason why the target market should buy a product or service. Table 10.1 shows how three companies, Hertz, Volvo, and Domino's, have defined their value proposition through the years with their target customers. The competitive frame of reference. The competitive frame of reference defines which other brands a brand competes with and which should thus be the focus of competitive analysis, and also identifies and analyzes competitors. Table 10.2 shows the results of a company survey that asks customers to rate its three competitors. We'll call them A, B, and C, on 5 attributes. Competitor A turns out to be well known and respected for producing high-quality products sold by a good sales force, but poor at providing product availability and tech assistance. Competitor B is good across the board and excellent in product availability and sales force. Competitor C rates poor to fair on most attributes. This result suggests that in its positioning, the company could attack competitor A on product availability and tech assistance and competitor C on almost anything, but it should not attack B, which has no glaring weaknesses. As part of this competitive analysis and positioning, the firm should also ascertain the strategies and objectives of its primary competitors. Associations that make up points of differences can be based on visually any type of attribute or benefit. Strong brands often have multiple points of difference. 3 criteria determine whether a brand association can truly function as a point of reference: desirability, deliverability, and differentiability. If something is desirable to the consumers, they must see the brand association as personally relevant to them. Deliverable by the company would mean that the company must have the internal resources and commitment to feasibly and profitably create and maintain the brand association in the minds of consumers. And differentiating from competitors means that consumers must see the brand association as distinctive and superior to relevant competitors. Regardless of the source of perceived weaknesses, if, in the eyes of consumers, a brand can break even in those areas where it appears to be at a disadvantage and achieve advantages in other areas, it should be in a strong and probably unbeatable competitive position. Consider the introduction of Miller Lite beer, the first major light beer in North America. Pop associations come in 3 basic forms: category, correlational, and competitive. Category points of parity are attributes or benefits that consumers view as essential to a legitimate and credible offering within a certain product or service category. Correlational points of parity are potentially negative associations that arise from the existence of positive associations for that brand. Competitive points of parity are associations designed to overcome perceived weaknesses of the brand in light of competitors' points of difference. It's not uncommon for a brand to identify more than one actual or potential competitive frame of reference if competition widens or the firm plans to expand into new areas. Occasionally, a company will be able to straddle 2 frames of reference with one set of points of difference and points of parity. In these cases, the points of difference for one category become points of parity for the other, and vice versa. Straddle positions allow brands to expand their market coverage and potential customer base. Michael Porter urged companies to build a sustainable competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is a company's ability to perform in one or more ways that competitors cannot or will not match. But few competitive advantages are inherently sustainable. At best, they may be leverageable. Any product or service benefit that is sufficiently desirable, deliverable, and differentiating can serve as a point of difference for a brand. For choosing specific benefits as pops and pods to position a brand, perceptual maps may be useful. Perceptual maps are visual representations of consumer perceptions and preferences. They provide quantitative pictures of market situations and the way consumers view different products, services, and brands in different dimensions. By overlaying consumer preferences with brand perceptions, marketers can. A person's emotional response to a brand and its marketing will depend on many factors. An increasingly important one is a brand's authenticity. Here are the 3 key criteria for a brand mantra. First of all, communicate. A good brand mantra should clarify what's unique about the brand. It may also need to define the category or categories of business for the brand and set brand boundaries. Simplify. An effective brand mantra should be memorable. For that, it should be short, crisp, and vivid in meaning. Inspire. Ideally, the brand mantra should also stake out ground that's personally meaningful and relevant to as many employees as possible. When a product is new, marketers must inform consumers of the brand's category membership. There's 3 main ways to show a brand's category membership. One is announcing category benefits. To reassure consumers that a brand will deliver on the fundamental reason for using a category, marketers use benefits to announce category membership. Number 2, comparing to exemplars. Well-known, noteworthy brands in a category can also help a brand specify its category membership. And number 3, relying on the product descriptor. The product descriptor that follows the brand name is often a concise way of conveying the category origin. Once they have fashioned the brand positioning strategy, marketers should communicate it to everyone in the organization so it guides the authorized words and actions. One helpful schematic with which to do so is a brand positioning bullseye. Marketing memo. Constructing a brand positioning bullseye outlines one way marketers can formally express brand positioning without skipping any steps. One common challenge in positioning is that many of the benefits that make up points of parity and points of difference are negatively correlated. The company ConAgra must convince consumers that Healthy Choice frozen foods taste good and are good for you. Unfortunately, consumers typically want to maximize both the negatively correlated attributes or benefits. Much of the art and science of marketing consists of dealing with trade-offs, and positioning is no different. The best approach clearly is to develop a product or service that performs well in both arenas. Variables in assessing potential competitors. Number 1, the share of market, the competitor's share of the target market. Number 2, share of mind, the percentage of customers who name the competitor in responding to the statement, "Name the first company that comes to mind in this industry." And number 3, share of heart, the percentage of customers who name the competitor in responding to the statement, "Name the company from which you prefer to buy this product." Rather than outlining specific attributes or benefits, some marketing experts describe positioning a brand as telling a story. Based on literary convention and brand experience, the following framework is offered for a brand story. First of all, the setting. That includes time, place, and context. The cast. The brand is a character, including its role in the life of the audience, its relationships and responsibilities, and its history. Narrative arc. The way the narrative logic unfolds over time, including actions, experiences, events, and the moment of epiphany. Language. The authenticating voice, metaphors, symbols, and themes. Douglas Holt believes that for companies to build iconic leadership brands, they must assemble cultural knowledge, Strategize according to cultural branding principles and hire and train cultural experts. Positioning or branding for a small business. This can include find compelling product performance advantage, focus on building one or two strong brands based on two key associations, encourage a product trial, develop cohesive digital strategies to make the brand bigger and better, create a buzz, employ a well-integrated set of elements, leverage as many secondary associations as possible, and creatively conduct low-cost marketing research. Hey, thanks for watching. Please check out the other videos in this marketing management series. Thanks again.